Well, why don't we start? I know people are jumping on, but I think it might be prudent to start and let
Sure.
people catch up. So, um, I would like to welcome everyone to this presentation, Vitality Society. I'm really excited. Meredith Oppenheim has agreed to present this on behalf of the villages. I think it might be a great opportunity as we look. In the next, as we all talked, some of the village leaders talked on Friday, the next steps, and we all know that we're going to continue to have some virtual programming. And I think this is an opportunity for villages to really expand some of their own, but also maybe the network wise can do something. So keep that in mind, and I'm going to let Meredith go ahead and do her presentation. And we will do questions at the end. You can do questions in the chat room.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, Barbara, for this opportunity. I'm really appreciative. I've long admired the village's work and learned about Beacon Hill when I was a student up in Boston. So it's a real privilege to get to know you and others in your fantastic organization and the great work you do. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll start there. And let's see, just give me 1 second. Okay. We'll start at the top. Okay, so can everybody see that? Barbara? Ooh.
I'm on mute. I was trying to be quiet.
Okay, no problem.
And I will ask everybody to mute themselves while Meredith is doing the presentation. Thanks.
Great, and are you able to see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm thinking about this as the Village to Village Network and its members revitalized by Vitality Society, or quite frankly, just vitalized. As our platform, and I know your platform, we serve such a wide range of older people, and we really meet people where they're at, as well as celebrate where they are and explore the possibility to safely bring them to the next level to sustain or even increase their vitality. So these are just 2 ads that I ran on Facebook early after our launch in January 2020 to begin to understand, if you will, what is the level of interest in a brand that stands for vitality for people 60 and better to be at their best. So we asked the question, how vital do you feel? That's really what we focus on. And also how to think about designing your life with positivity, purpose, and pleasure. And again, this became, we've launched this earlier than COVID in January, like I had said, and we hope these messages still resonate, if not now, very shortly in the future for most people. So just by way of background briefly, I have been working in the senior housing industry prior to doing this for over 20 years. I had various corporate strategy, asset management, and transactional roles. I have worked with multiple operators across the full continuum of senior housing. I also oversaw a very large portfolio in the Northeast of over 55 properties, Sunrises and Atrias. And after doing all that, I authored a white paper, A New Look at the Aging Industry, which we'll talk about, and have served on various different organizations and councils, including Mayor Bloomberg's Age Friendly Commission, as well as the New York City Department for the Aging Not-for-Profit Board. And most importantly, I began my work over 30 years ago, which we'll talk about, and I'm proud to say that I won a congressional award for my service to older people. This is part of my passion in life and very much my mission and what I do. And I really feel very fortunate that I love the work that I do, and it doesn't feel like work at all. So speaking about a new perspective on an aging industry, this is a 4-generation picture of my family several years ago before my grandmother passed away. And just, it was such a blessing. And what I say about older people and the idea of aging is that growing old with dignity and incredible opportunity is truly what older people deserve and truly what they want and what younger generations cherish. And we as a country and also our economy is going to depend on, is how do we look at aging differently, and provide a new perspective and offer new opportunities. And that's really what propels me forward. So 31 years ago, I started my work with seniors, sitting in the same room where I'm hiding during the COVID crisis. I live in New York City, but I've been in New Jersey and Monmouth County now for, hard to believe it, 9 weeks. And I really felt very passionate in 1989 when this article was in our local paper. I wanted to help my grandparents live longer. I was so close to them. I loved them so much. And I cooked for them with what at the time was a novel ingredient, oat bran, to truly help them eat better, to live longer, and thus we could enjoy each other for as long as possible. And I went across my county in Monmouth County and then throughout the state of New Jersey, cooking for older people, demonstrating how to do so easily, compiled the recipes in a cookbook with the help of retired administrative assistants, and then sold the book and donated all the money to the proceeds of the book to my county senior center. And this is the work that actually was why I was recognized with a congressional award. So when my father became very ill a number of years ago, he was diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, and 2 rare blood diseases. And I had already been working in the industry of senior housing for 15 years. So I fought like heck to save his life. When he was so sick, I looked at him and I said, I will do everything humanly possible to keep you well, and I will not let you down. And so I reflected on that experience, how bringing him to multiple hospitals, multiple doctors to help get the right modality for him. And I reflected on that, published this piece for PBS Next Avenue platform. Really 5 ways grown children can navigate the healthcare system for their parents. And I'm proud to say my dad survived. And while it was a difficult fight, it really was my aha moment where I realized that the greatest work that I could do is to keep older people well. The cost and the toll illness takes on patients, families, and again, economically speaking, the cost of my father's Medicare drugs were prohibitively expensive. I felt, how do I really put my passion and attention to keep this generation healthy as long as possible? Because I believe preventative care, health, and self-care are the best forms of healthcare, especially now. So I synthesized all these findings from my work in the industry, as well as my experience fighting for my dad's life and the consulting work that I've done. So I had worked with various different companies, government organizations, and individual families. And I decided to reflect on that and document that work in this brief that I did with the American Senior Housing Association, which is one of the senior housing industry's largest trade organizations and has a very significant lobby arm as well. And basically this document, I was advocating for what we as an industry need to do differently and better to improve all that we do for our residents and their families. And so I felt that after so many years and a personal experience like I had with my dad, I really wanted to give back to the industry and give them guidance and suggestions specifically how to do so. And so that was the work that I completed in the fall of 2019. And then I put my money where my mouth is and I said, okay, we have to do so much better as an industry, but what could we do for older people? Because the vast majority don't want to live in senior housing. So over the decade that I was tracking this, and as long as the industry was looking at this data, we consistently serve 11% of the 80 and older population, which is to say that 90% of people 80 and older, and probably even more than that, less than 80 years of age, don't move into senior housing. So what you do is particularly relevant, knowing that the majority of the older population chooses to stay home, prefers to stay home, and actually stay home. So knowing that that's statistically what the case is and has been for over a decade, I said, what can I do for people at home to give them some of the best of what we do in senior housing, plus, and more, so they're safe, and they live in a very dignified way, as well as could be and improve as much as they want to be revitalized. So I created Vitality Society, and we asked the question, how vital are you? Most people ask, how old are you? And we really focus on how vital are you. We don't ask our members their age. Age is irrelevant. And I experienced that firsthand with my dad when he was so sick in his mid-70s. And then I would go into senior housing communities days later, and there were people 95 years old in the gym on treadmills. So age is not really the issue. It's your vitality that's the opportunity. And so I'm going to show a short video of who we are and what we've accomplished, and then we'll come back to the presentation. So we will go right here.
Most people ask, how old are you? We at Vitality Society ask, how vital are you? Vitality Society creates a special space for people 60 and better to be at their best. We serve members who are young at heart and want to remain vibrant and vital.
We offer this community that helps, I think, restore people's sanity in many ways, that they feel that they're connected to something much larger than within the four walls of their home, and beyond their typical circle of friends and their family.
Aligned with our 8 vitality principles, we work towards
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. One sec. Okay, so you can't see the video?
No, it didn't. You can hear it. You can't see it.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay. So I will go ahead and share my screen one more time. We'll go here directly, computer audio, and let's try.
Most people ask, how old are you?
Can you see it now?
Vitality Society ask, how vital are you? Vitality Society creates a special space for people 60 and better to be at their best. We serve members who are young at heart and want to remain vibrant and vital.
We offer this community that helps, I think, restore people's sanity in many ways, that they feel that they're connected to something much larger than within the four walls of their home, and beyond their typical circle of friends and their family.
Aligned with our 8 vitality principles, we work towards helping our members improve their physical and mental well-being, gradually and safely, supporting them every step of the way.
I feel wonderful. I am proud I'm here and doing what I couldn't do last year.
The time has never been more urgent or the need greater to keep older people well.
My husband home suffering with the coronavirus, so it was just amazing to be able to sit in here and do this. A little bit of stretching just helped tremendously.
It felt so fabulous, and it was just what I needed today.
We have some classes that are very peaceful in nature, like meditation. We have that every Monday. And on Thursday, we have a gentle yoga class. And then we have more higher impact dance classes, because we do, as I say, have such a large population of people who really want that higher intensity workout.
We offer daily fitness and wellness classes taught by leaders in their fields, many who are also of the generation we serve.
As an internationally recognized fitness expert for just about 3 decades now, I am now of this same generation. And I found a rare opportunity on Vitality Society to lead others 60 or better by offering specialized program that inspires and motivates their health and longevity.
We also have special events with other industry icons, including Elena Brower.
I've been very awake and aware to our community, 60 and better, and I think that this is one of the greatest honors that I've had in a very long time.
In terms of physical well-being, we know that there's a significant correlation to movement leading to people feeling better physically. We know that people moving reduces the likelihood of obesity, and we know that obesity obviously is a risk factor for many diseases, and actually including COVID.
We know that movement and connection are pivotal to sustaining good health, especially now. All the studies suggest when you move more and are less isolated, your physical and mental well-being improve. Our membership continues to grow over 600% per month based on word of mouth alone. We foster community and connection between coaches and our members, and between members with live Zoom chats 30 minutes prior to and after each event. We also have affinity groups for singles, couples, and grandparents so they can get the coaching and member support that they need.
It's a terrific opportunity to just hear new people, to get a feeling about them, to get to learn something about them.
And we recently introduced an artist gallery for members to display their creative works. Our members and coaches are our greatest ambassadors. We have proven that technology is no longer an obstacle, but an opportunity for a generation that is young at heart and wants to remain that way.
Great. So that, I wanted to just show that. And we will go back. Well, I'm echoing. Does anybody else hear me echo? Oh, now I'm off. Okay, great. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's some quick milestones and then we'll go right into the content. So again, I launched after 18 months of primary and secondary research with the goal to define the principles that were going to guide the work and the strategy that we were going to execute. We launched in January 2020. Someone, just want to make sure. Okay, got it. Oh, they can't see the, can you see the presentation?
I can.
Okay.
Well, no, you have your discovery on, your discovery page.
Oh, okay. Let me stop share and do it again. Okay, great. Can everybody see it now, the milestones?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, great. So we're 18 months of primary and secondary research. We launched in January 2020. During the winter of 2020, those ads that I showed you on the front page, we got 1,200 likes on Facebook over a 3-day period. And in mid-March, we introduced 7 days per week free fitness and wellness events led by leaders in the industry and designed specifically for a population 60 and older. Our membership continues to grow over 100% per month based on word of mouth alone. One of our members recently said that given the impact we've had on his physical and mental well-being, that we are providing an oasis in chaos, which I really thought was a very kind testimonial of what we're trying to do. And in April 2020, we launched various affinity groups, which I'll show you. One for solo agers, those who are defining themselves as solo because they either live alone, have had no children, never got married, or are at a distance or estranged from their families. We also have a group for grandparents and artists, and we just are introducing one today, which I'll show you, that's inspired by one of our members, so we have a musicians group. And in May 2020, what I'm actively doing now is exploring partnerships to maximize our impact, and truly what we're getting at and what we really are focused on is minimizing social isolation and the depression that results from that. So here are our guiding principles. What we're trying to do is create an inspirational lifestyle that connects and engages people 60 and better to be at their best. And we offer and do this by building camaraderie, providing original content, and offering coaching. Everything is based on these 8 principles, and I will walk through them very briefly, but purpose and B is to be the best version of yourself. Physically, have a purpose, have a pathway to positivity, and lead a very positive lifestyle. And the second is do. And the do is to continue to do volunteer work or paid work to remain relevant and leave a legacy. And each of these, as you'll see, are just 2-letter words with the idea to be so simple to remember. And we support our members in creating content that support these principles and allow them to execute on them. And the third is ed, E-D, which is to become and remain a lifelong learner, whether you want to learn a new instrument, learn an art. We want to support our members, and all the research suggests that once you continue to learn, you continue to grow and your brain and your capacity is increased. And the fourth is to go, G-O, which all the research that we had done and the focus groups and our survey suggests when people have more time and have additional money, they love to travel. So we just did our virtual travel event. I know many of you joined us, so I appreciate that. And we did that last Sunday. And next is HA. We know that laughter is the best medicine. On June 7th, we have an HBO comedian by the name of Judy Gold, who will be coming and performing with us live on Zoom, and we will be donating part of the proceeds to various different aging services organizations that are serving older people on the front line. And then we have HI, which we take very seriously, is to meet new people and form new relationships. Obviously right now they're virtual, but it happens all the time where people on different coasts know each other, recognize each other, haven't seen each other. Also, we have people who live in the same neighborhood but never knew each other and never seen each other before, and this is all happening virtually. And then there's OM, which is in order to preserve your sanity, is to remain calm and peaceful. So a lot of our programs have this mindfulness component. So we have Qigong tonight, which allows people to remain very centered. We do meditation on Thursday night, all with the desire to keep people very peaceful. And at the time, obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty. And then the last box, which often gets the most laughs, is OI, which is to understand that we all have worries and concerns. That happens at every age and phase of life. Now, obviously, the context is more worrisome than ever, but we want to recognize that as part of our framework, but it's our last box because it's not to dominate our life. So we're aware of it. For example, we're having a grandparenting event on May 28th, which is now that schools are coming to an end and most camps won't start, what could grandparents do to support their children and grandchildren during this time? So obviously it's a concern on everybody's mind, but as a community we'll come together and try to share best practices and suggestions to help us all do better. So who are we serving? We are serving, interestingly enough, 60% female, 40% male. This is as of yesterday. We also have, this is something I'm quite surprised about myself, 52% of our members are 55 and older. But I will say that 95% of our members that come to all of our daily classes are 65 and older. So our membership is much broader than that because we have so many adult children that come on and recommend their parents. We also have older, we have people's grandparents in some regards. So they sign up too because they like the programming and they inspire their loved ones to join. So that explains why so many are much younger, but our programming, those who show up are really 65 and older. And our geographic distribution is 90% the US at the moment, and our distribution across the top 5 states, we have almost an equal number in New York and New York and Florida, and other states are obviously represented as well. We also right now have so many people who are in Florida who are coming back to New York or wish they could, and so we have, it'll be interesting to see if it's tracked, Google tracks it based where people are or where they're registered. So we'll learn how that changes as people come back up north. And also one other data point is people are on our site, our average duration of use is over 5 minutes. And as it relates to other sites and benchmarking of all demographics of all various different uses of internet sites, this is actually considered an extremely high number, which is to suggest that people spend a lot of time looking at the classes, selecting what they want, engaging in our affinity groups, and that's a really great measure of people's satisfaction and interest in our content. So how do we do what we do? So at the very top, we create an ecosystem around each member. We really want to provide content, coaches and concierge and camaraderie to increase the impact we can have on someone's vitality. We have a concierge that would provide tech assistance and program assistance to all our members. We're nearly 1,000 members today. We have a concierge in place that supports our members in getting the support that they need programmatically or technically. We have some of the best leaders in the wellness and fitness industry, many whom our instructors are over 60. We work with them to make sure that they understand the type of experience that we want to offer our members. For example, slower starts with lots of stretching and having nice tempo dance as an example, and then slowing down and having an opportunity to stretch at the end. We really have many members who come to 2 classes a day. A lot of them come to many classes a week, and we really, really want people to safely enjoy the experience and feel good showing up the second time in the day or many days in the week. And then our content, we do daily live Zooms, which I'll show you all of our content. We take polls of our members just to get the pulse, which I'll show you. We have affinity groups. We introduce new topics all the time. And then again, at the outer part of the ecosystem is the camaraderie we offer. And when all of the senior housing research comes in, and it is often evaluated what people value most within senior housing, those that reside there, it's always the camaraderie that's possible. So we've taken that best, most important component of senior housing and bring it to a distributed group on a virtual platform. So again, we have the concierge, the coaches, and the camaraderie, and the content that aligns with our principles and our. Okay, so here's an example of our May 2020 weekly schedule. Just updated this, and you'll see we have various different categories. So number 1 is cardio, and then we have strengthening, and then mindfulness and enrichment, and some of the classes span 2. And this week we introduced a class intensity indicator based on the feedback of our members. We tried to give people who are new to the platform an understanding of what they could expect should they attend the class. So from the least intense, the lowest intensity would be a meditation class every Thursday or Qigong on Wednesday night. And in terms of the more higher intensity classes, we introduced last week bar ballet, which has an incredible strengthening component and a cardio component. And we also have yoga sculpt. We have many members who have taken classes with us for 2 months who have built really great stamina and strength and have asked us to introduce these higher intensity classes. So that was a really good sign. And then we also brought in a rehabilitation program. So we just introduced earlier this month physical therapy class as well as immune boosting. And so the physical therapy class was new last week, and we had 15 people last week, and we had about 22 this week. So that class is very popular for people who might have had surgery, who have parts of their bodies that are bothering them and want to work on. And so we have one of the best physical therapists, and she works with us as a group. And because there's so much interest and demand, we're starting to introduce smaller groups for her to work with members beyond the 1 class a week. So there's really something for everybody. And we also really love, and our most popular classes are dance classes. So we have that 3 times a week. We have Nia Dance on Monday. Broadway Dance is new this week with a former Rockette and Broadway star to all the favorite show tunes that we took a poll and got some great feedback. And then our Latin dance on Friday. So last week on Saturday, we had an art class, and I'll show you the results of that. So we will go in and talk about the various different affinity groups, but for couples, solo agers, grandparents, those are 3. And this is one of the posting to the art gallery as a result of our class. Last week, our instructor asked everybody to post their work so he can comment on it and other people could review it and enjoy it. So I will go in and go to our demo. I just want to take a pause and just thumbs up if everybody's good to continue. Great. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the platform, and I'll ask Barbara, can you see the discovery?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I've created a space particularly for the Village to Village network. And so as you'll see, I'll go to the About, and this page really reflects everything that the Village to Village network is about. Through our tools, the invite key, we would be able to invite you as well as all of your members to join us on this branded platform and have a branded experience for them specifically. So this just talks about, as a network, what you do. And then we have this discovery page, which you can see here, the schedule. We ask people when they arrive if they'd like to take a vitality quiz, and they get a 15-minute complimentary coaching session if they want to go through their results. But we send out an assessment and give them guidance on the various dimensions of the quiz. We show you how to add a picture to their profile. And then we added some of your feature content, like, for example, your network sponsors were here, and everything is clickable, so it could bring you out to the platform if you want members to be able to go there. And we added the text for your various different sponsors. We also included your video. If people wanted to see your content, they could engage with it here and click and review it. So let me show you some of the key functions that are very pivotal to what we offer. So number one are the events. Here are some of the events coming up from our calendar, as well as events that would be specific to your village group. So we have our yoga class coming up on Thursday morning. We have what was on your calendar we added, and the blue events are your events. Again, we could change that, give you an image, but we thought that would stand out and illuminate what is an event for your platform. And then we have our meditation, we added our Latin groove, and here's your Helpful Village Users Group meeting. And we added our event with Judy Gold, our comedian. And then we introduced for you a happy hour mixer. And when you would go on to any, so let's just say you want to do a happy hour mixer, someone could say, I'm going. And then it would come here and you'd see all the names of everybody going, and you could remind people, come with your favorite beverage. And then it would go out to everybody, hit comment, and anybody who'd come to this page would see that. What's also interesting is it's embedded in here, the Zoom event. So if I click this, it would go automatically to the Zoom that you've set up for that event. So you wouldn't have to go out and tell people and email people. Everything could be done in the platform. We can communicate with everybody who's signed up through the tools that we have. So these are the events. And let me just show you the members as well. So as members join your branded group, they would come in here and see who else, and they can say who's near you, and here there's 2 of us only, who's newest to the group. We can make you hosts, so those that lead the village chapters could be a host, and you could even see who's online now. So near you, and if I wanted to say hi to Melinda, I could say hello and say, Melinda, nice to meet you. And then that message comes from you, and you can get in a dialogue back and forth. And in the same way, you can go see who's online now and click it, and you can come in here. There's nobody there to chat with, but you can chat with people as well. So this allows you to communicate and ask, are you going tonight to the event? Join us tonight. And then she could write back to you in response. And then let's go into some of the topics that we've added here. So we added your FAQs, so people can come in here and see the answers to their frequently asked questions. And we put here again another FAQ is how to add your profile picture. So people would come in here and have access to all of this. Their discovery page is how they could see everything in a very concise way. And what I'd love to show you too is, in addition to them being part of your smaller group within our larger platform, again, branded Village to Village Network, they would have access to our broader network. So here's our groups page that I was referring to and you saw in the video. We just added this, so the musicians group for the musically inclined and interested. And if you come here, one of our members, Denise, just sent it to us, the song that she had created about aging out. And now we have this song available and everybody can listen to it. And then here is our artist gallery. We had, as I said, an art class last Saturday. Oh, beautiful. And it was a collage class. And here's one of our members, Chesley. So she put in her piece and she'd love feedback from other people. She just did this 10 minutes ago, but I'll show you one of the other pieces. So this is Phyllis, also who attended the collage class. And our our instructor, Michael, wrote back to her, said it was beautiful, gave her suggestions of what she could improve, and then she reposted it here and showed it to everybody. So now she's waiting for feedback again. And we have all of our people who can comment. All of our instructors also have their own groups. So we have many coaches, for example, our immune boosting coach put here's the tips to stay well and what you could do for lung strength and immune health and stress relief. So you can come here, open the PDF, print it out, and you could use it throughout the week. And that was what all of our members had asked for. If they can have a review sheet, so they'd be able to do that on their own. And again, this is where your group would live. It would be secret, so nobody would see it but you and your members, and it'd be invitation only. So only people who could see it are only those that you invite. And we also have a book club and couples, etc. So I'm going to show you one other piece again, so you can see how it works in the main society. So these are our members. Like I said, we have nearly 1,000 now. So when I showed you the functionality, you can see the near you. Here are the people that come up in New York, where I'm from, and the newest. And I could start writing to people here as well. And I could see all the new members. And I like to greet everybody every day, say hello. And this is a fun function, is the ambassador function. So those people who recommend the most people earn recognition in the community. And next to them, you'll see how many people that they referred. So I will go ahead and pause here. There's lots more. Lastly, this is what we talked about. We have all of our topics of all of our guiding principles. And for example, you go into we've curated various different articles about that topic. So here's 9 tips for volunteering in retirement, and the articles here. We try to remain current as best we can to the different ideas, and every month we celebrate something. So we talk about why seniors should travel even in retirement. So we've done that before. If we're in our groups, for example, our grandparenting group, here's our upcoming event. Let's see. So here's our what's next, what will our grandchildren's summer look like, and what can you do to help? So we talked about that, and people could write in if they have questions. And let me show you one other piece that I think is very important in your platform. This is something I showed Barbara. So if we go back to your group, every day, whoever administers the group, and it could be us, it can be you, we can get a measure. How do you feel? And we might ask people to do that on a scale of, let's just say, percentage. So we would post without a topic, don't notify. Okay, great. So how do you feel on a scale? So you could put it here, and then my vote's there, and you can get a community average as well. So for all the people in the platform who participate with us as part of your group, you would get your vote, and you could write something down here. I'm okay. Can someone help me with? And then anybody who comes here would also vote how they feel, and it would be compiled into the community average, and then they could respond here and say, I can help. Have you tried? And then they would respond. So it allows you to keep an open dialogue, and you could do this daily to get the pulse and support the people in your community. So I'll go ahead and stop my share and come back into the meeting.
So I'm sure you're all buzzing with questions. I want to point out, thank you, Meredith, that was really good. That the example for the network is, it can, what we're trying to do is look at this, as I said in the beginning of Meredith's talk, is individually as villages, you can create your own group and have your members, log in. It's an opportunity. I love the feature, how are you today? And you have a gauge of how people are doing. It's an instant, survey of, the needs and wants, but also an extension of some of the programs I think that we're all starting to recreate that we can't do any longer in person. And so, you know, we've talked to, you know, a small regional group. We may do a test market with that. They're on the line with us, and to see how it would work with the network and then expand it. So it's an ongoing conversation. I'm sure you guys have some questions, so I'm opening it up. Take your time. You can do it through the chat, or you can, there's only, you know, under 20 of us. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, that's fine too.
Great, thank you, Barbara.
Eddie,
Okay.
I knew you were going to be the first one.
Well, of course, I've got stuff in my head. Meredith, hi. Thank you so much for your presentation. That's really helpful.
Thank you.
I'm gonna cut to the chase and ask about the bottom line, both as individuals joining, if I was to get my village to join, or even the group cost, if say VTV or Wave. I see my colleague from Wave is on. Just if you can talk a little bit about costs.
Sure, Barbara, did you want to take that one?
So we're working out a possibility of a pilot program. Meredith, why don't you talk about if like just a group would join? You know, I know
Sure.
just your regular retail or wholesale, you know, costs.
Sure. So at the moment, Eddie, first of all, thank you for your question and your interest. So right now, if you were to come to our platform and want unlimited classes, and we have over 50 a month, we're offering $29.99. And with that per month, you get your first week free. So if you're not happy with what you experience and enjoy, you'll be able to discontinue your membership. And I'm proud to say we introduced this on May 4th. We introduced it on May 4th and we rolled it out on May 11th, and we haven't had anybody cancel because they're not happy. So that's great. Most people who joined knew exactly what they were doing because they had gotten it for free for 9 weeks during COVID, because I really wanted to commit to make it as accessible and available to the most people and fund that privately and personally myself. So that's what I consider the retail price. And what I've been speaking to Barbara about, there are a few options. So let's just say, to keep it very simple, if we wanted to have one group for all the villages, like I demonstrated, there would be, what I had proposed to Barbara, a fee associated with the network to cover the hosting of the group and the support of it that we would provide, and we would create it and design it and sustain it on behalf of the network. And then how we would do it is there would be a per person membership. So when they arrive into the group, it would be all there. You don't have to worry about any transactions. It would be a per person membership cost. And what I have proposed to Barbara, there's various different options, but I believe we can do that for $15, $20 a person, and they would get more than 50 classes. So it just depends on where we set that monthly maintenance sustaining cost to the network, so we can determine what is the best price per person. And then the thought that I had is, and I think this is the way it would work really nicely, is as the membership grows in number, the network's fee would be reduced, because then people get it, know it, they encourage it, they support it, and they're sharing it, and they're sharing with their friends. So it starts to grow and evolve, and we want to make it as affordable as possible to the network, because obviously there's so many initiatives and uses of funds, and we want to honor and respect that. So we want to make sure that over time it becomes even more affordable. So as our members grow, they get even more, but we have members becoming ambassadors, which is exactly what we have now.
And so let me follow up with one last question, and I'll shut up.
Sure.
I promise.
No problem.
You have a great array of classes. Is anything recorded and say put on there so that if somebody wants to just come in the middle of the night, they're insomniac and they just get up and they decide they want to come to one of the classes, are there tapes that can be reviewed
Absolutely. It's a great question, Eddie, and I'm starting to get that question, which is great. So as you know, through Zoom, we have the functionality to record everything, and absolutely we can do so, and absolutely we can include that for those paying members. So that is easy to do technically, easy to do operationally. To date, we have not done it because I thought during this time, one of the greatest attributes that we offer is building the community live, that people show up every day and see each other and connect with each other and reflect with each other and discuss what about the class and broader opportunities and issues in their lives, just briefly, but just knowing people are out there, it really distinguishes us from everybody else. And we also have that coach connection. So a good example, on Monday, one of the women had an issue. She had many surgeries and she was new to the physical therapy class. And I said to her, come on 15 minutes early and talk with our coach about it before the class begins. And then after, through our platform, she was communicating with our coach. So all of that is a little bit harder, obviously, if it's recorded, but functionally we are able to do it, and strategically we're able to do it. It's just been a choice not to encourage the live interaction. But if that's what you want, we can certainly do that. That's no problem at all.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Great questions. Thank you, Eddie.
Other questions? Anybody?
I saw Talia writing a lot, so hi, Talia.
Hi, thank you so much for sharing your platform with us. I love the layout of your website, and the usability of it is really great. Font size is big, all that good stuff. So thank you. And I was wondering how you handle liability, safety. Do you have someone on hand that can help members, like you were talking about your coach, physical therapy coach that's on call to help people? How do you manage that? Because we've been contemplating introducing like a gentle chair yoga class to our members, but the constant thought on our mind is we need to be able to see people and make sure they're safe and not pushing themselves too much, and able to help them if they're hurt. So how do you handle that on your platform?
Great question. So at the very top, we have an indemnity for our platform as well as our coaches, and we can add your organization as well. So we are indemnified, at least documented, when someone RSVPs to a class, and the reminders that we send includes that indemnity, that people are doing this at their own risk, in their own way, on their own time. So that's how we handle it legally. In terms of a particular class, all of our instructors start with, please do what you're comfortable doing. Don't do what you're not. Stop when you need to. So they're at the beginning and introducing the class, reminding people to know their own limitations. Even if at a gym in an actual class, someone could push themselves too far, but we have to have our members be reminded to listen to their own bodies and do it as they can. The other piece of what we do that's very unique is we have a queuing system. All of our coaches have various different options. So today in Pilates, we're down on the floor for half the time, and she'll say, for those of you who can, we go this way. For those of you who could do a little more, we do this. And for those of you who are ready for a challenge, we'll do that. So providing multiple options. And this is what one of the ladies said today. She'd never done Pilates because she felt it was always going to be too intimidating. And today she felt that she always was able to do something in every move, and was so excited about doing something she was always so curious about, but was always so worried about trying. So we really do give people multiple options. And then speaking of chair yoga, we have a gentle yoga, and she does it with the chair as well. And I believe that all of our instructors have taught this generation for in many cases, multiple decades, and they're very experienced, and everybody opts in with the intensity indicator to the classes they think that are right for them. Some of them, honestly, one woman, she watches every class before she does anything and decides if she's going to come back the next time for the class. So we have that option, and people do it, and we welcome it, and the next time they come back, they're doing it, and they do feel very comfortable about it. But you're right. I mean, we also, like for today, and we got up after Pilates, and one of the women I didn't see in the square, and I said, Shirley, are you okay? And she was completely fine. She just said, she's like, I like relaxing on the ground. I'm not going to be able to do it all day. So we were there. One class, I guess like 3 weeks ago, someone stood up too fast and she didn't have breakfast and she hadn't had anything to drink. And one of our members was a nurse. And, you know, we talked and walked her through it, and she lives alone. She was by herself, and she was so happy to have a nurse on the phone, as well as so many people guiding her. And I took her phone number and I stayed in touch with her via text all day, and she was fine and showed up the next day. So, you know, we're doing that to support people, but, you know, we are not a healthcare medical provider. It just happened to be there, like as if you were on an airplane, is there a nurse here? And I knew who the nurse was. Great. Thank you, Taya. But I would just say, the more I think about that question, people are really understand at this stage of life what their limitations are. You know, I think that's something that I've come to notice. And for example, our bar class on Saturday was the first time we did it, and the tempo was a little high. And I interrupted the class teacher and I said, you know, could we start bar, because many of us are new to it. I was part of that, you know, at a little bit lower tempo. And she slowed the music down, and we were able to get a more, you know, simpler, easier workout for those of us who were new to it. So we adapt, we learn as we go.
Ray, you had a question.
Oh, actually two, but I'll start with one.
Hi, Ray.
What do you do if people are not very good with computers? Because this kind of relies on everything being done on a tablet or a phone or a computer.
Great question. We're an online platform. We have members that use their smartphones all the time, and we have members that use their computers and others that use their tablets. So as long as you have one of those three, sometimes we have people on two, because they can see the picture on, they can hear the audio on the phone. They prefer to do it that way than the computer. Their audio is not working. So there are many times where we have people logged in two different places. But it provided they have access to one of those three while we're all isolating and quarantining, then they can participate.
So are they going to a website, or is there an app?
Exactly.
Okay, they're going to a website. Okay.
We do have an app. You just have to put your phone number in, and I'll show it to you quickly so you can see where the app is. But if you go here, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so here's your about page, and you go down here, keep up with the Village to Village Network on the go, and you text me the app. So you put your phone number in, and you can get the app there. So we are a web-based platform. We would give you a bit.ly, like bit.ly/Vitality Society Villages, or Village to Village Network, or you could abbreviate that as you wish. And then it'd be one click right into that group. And that would be where everybody is able to begin very quickly and easily at that front page.
Okay, thanks. So the other question is, when you send out one of these polls, for example, or you text somebody, how does that get delivered to the people who are the members? Does that come as a text
so we
message,
have
or?
exactly. So what happens is, if you respond to one of those questions, it's comparable to like any other platform where you're really building a dialogue and exchange. You'll be notified that someone else responded. It comes in as an email that you got a message on the platform. And then we have the ability to customize how much or how little you want to receive. Some people like to know everything all the time and stay on top of it, and other people want to know very little and just want to show up at the event. So we can work with them on customizing the settings so they get as little as they want.
Okay, thanks a lot. I really like your 60 and better as opposed to 60 and older.
You know, it's so interesting. You're going to appreciate this, Ray. So this summer, after doing our online survey and the focus groups, I met with Paul Irvin of the Milken Institute Center for Aging, a brilliant man, an incredible man. And I was talking to him about my work spanning 30 years working with older people, and I called them seniors. And he said, Meredith, I love everything you're saying and I love everything you're doing, but we can't call anybody a senior. And I said, well, what do you use instead? What word is better? And he said various different organizations that support older people, well, he said seniors, have come together, put their money together, and they came up with older people. And I have to tell you, Ray, that did not resonate with me at all. Mara's nodding, right, Mara? Isn't that, I mean, to me, honestly, I don't want to be called a younger person either. I mean, it's just, I didn't like that. It didn't work for me. So I said, okay, I'm going to deviate from the research, call it what I think is the case, 60 and better, and then I played on the better best, you know, and the rest is history. So I don't call them older people. I don't think anybody wants to be called that, but in the writing of the research and now in the media, that's exactly how everybody's referred to.
Yeah, although older adult is better than senior, I think. So,
I agree.
I still like the better.
Me too, 60 and better. And I have to say, I mean, the energy and the strength and the passion of our members, I mean, it's exactly what these people are. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm so inspired by how they dance, how they move, how they connect, how they engage with each other. I mean, it's really incredible. It's very inspiring. So it's absolutely better, and for them to be at the best.
Well, we have a few more minutes. We did have a couple of questions in the chat room.
Sure.
And one was from Mary. She said, is it a monthly membership fee for all optional classes, or any consideration for just focusing on one or two classes that might be able to take at per class, you know, fee, like a pay per class type of thing?
Right. I mean, we've set our price per month so low that if you were to take one class, and we have a huge following for our NIA class on Monday, and so our per person class is $9.99 at the moment, our retail price. And like yesterday's a good example. We had about 22 people, and 6 of them came in through the pay per class option. But after they continued to do that, now is the second week. Ultimately, if you're going to take the same class 4 times a month, where our price point is set at the moment, it makes more sense to do the monthly and enjoy every class over 50. So where our pricing is set at the moment, is designed to encourage people to do the monthly, to engage in as many classes as possible. So we feel that the pay per class is the option to drop in and drop out as you wish, but really the pricing is set to incentivize the monthly, so people show up and commit to revitalizing with us.
Awesome.
So for us, we would, I mean, I think the simplest, you know, just is if we were to, let's, you know, just say if we went with the $20 for unlimited classes per month, I mean, it's truly like a fraction of what most gyms would charge. And in some instances, it's what one class would cost in some places online. So we really wanted to make it accessible to the most people to enjoy.
So I think, you know, this is
Talia
all,
just asked another question. I'm sorry.
yeah. If I wanted to invite a couple of my High Village LA members to try a month and let us know how it went, we go along? How do we go about doing that? That's one of the conversations we're having as far as a pilot program with Meredith, and seeing whether or not there's an interest within the village, or even, you know, and I'm going to share Meredith's contact with you, because it's not just about V2V. You know, we're here trying to give you resources, but selfishly, I'm looking at it for a value for the network. And so, you know, reach out to Meredith, make sure, you know, talk to her, because she's open to, you know, I'm sure, business. You know, she's excited about her product and moving forward. So have a conversation with her. And I think, you know, I have 3 board members on, you know, the call, you know, listening to this also. And I think it's something the network is going to pursue also. So.
And if it's okay, Barbara, is it okay for me to respond to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So, Talia, I would just say that one of the ways in which we would set this up, like I had said, is we would offer a month So someone would sign up for the trial. We can set what that price would be with Barbara to make sure it's the same for all villages. I want to make sure we do that. And people get a free week. And they can also cancel at any time. So they put in their credit card, let's just say today, they experience 7 days of classes, and then they're charged after that free week. So they can end after that free week and never have spent a penny. Or, frankly, they could go on the first month after that and decide they don't want it, and they just continue, and they're not charged again. So that would be the best way to do it, is for them to go on, put their credit card in for the monthly, enjoy the first week for free, and then they just have to keep track and know, and they'll get a reminder that they could end if they're not interested after the first week. As I said, that hasn't happened yet because people really like it. But if they aren't interested, we most certainly wouldn't want them to continue. Yeah, fantastic. So this is great. Hi, George.
Hi, Meredith.
I met George years ago.
I was going to say, what? I saw George pop in there.
I didn't see George at the beginning either, George. You were a mystery entrant.
I got tied up for a while.
No problem.
I'll have to look at the recording.
Yep. Nice to meet you in person, George.
Oh, you've never met before? Okay.
No, he just joined as an individual member, so it's good.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yep.
So in terms of next steps, Barbara, do you want to outline? You had just said that people can. I'm gonna go ahead, if you don't mind, Barbara. Do you want me to put my email in the chat?
Yes, please. And okay. I was going to do that. And feel free to reach out to Meredith. I think we're going to have some more discussions on this. As you know, Meredith's just rolled this out, so she really is going live with this. I think it's exciting and an opportunity for our villages. And the thing I look at, and I think Mara said it, yeah. How about like the fact that maybe our villages across the nation can jump on a Zoom call, and do a class together, or have a happy hour together, or, and be in a separate group, So it's just, it's intriguing. It's daunting, but I think you'll hear more from us, as a network as we discuss. But
right, and I'd like to say, the tools are really easy, Barbara and others, and part of what we would offer is to set it up, train whomever would want to be part of it and contribute to it, also your members, so that we can come up with, you have your administrators, if you want, we could do a Zoom and show you how easy it is to send out those CSV files to introduce the platform. We could also do a monthly event for our members to get to know our classes and get to know our offerings, so we can do that as well. So there's various ways to do it, but I will say, we are at about 1,000 members right now, and had we not introduced the pay model, I get maybe like one email a week where someone can't do something. It really is, they get it, they do it. And it's usually, for example, they were using like a Zoom for like weeks ago and they were using the wrong Zoom. So it's not their fault, but they just happen to be using the wrong information. So, we tell them, here are the links, here's how you get it, you click on that Zoom event. I think one other really important part of this is how integrated it is. So the toolkit allows you to do everything easily, but the platform, Barbara, is very integrated. So you don't have to worry about sending emails and calling on the phone and doing all of those things. That can happen as well, but here's just one place for you to have a lot of functionality and opportunity that's hard to do across so many platforms, so many people, so many chapters.
Terrific.
Okay.
Well, I'm mindful of everybody's time.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate everyone. Be safe. We will have this, available in our forums, and we look forward to further conversations.
Great. And Barbara, we can talk about too, if people wanted to come into our broader platform, anybody on the call and take a class, to let me know.
Yes,
I'd be happy to offer that complimentary, your first class. We will do that. We can't open it to so many people because we manually have to do that. but I'm happy to offer it to the 18 or so or others from your community. So just let me know which class on the schedule interests you most and email me that, and we will make it accessible for you to enjoy that.
Terrific. Thank
Okay.
you all.
Great. Thank you.
Have a good one. Be safe.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.